Hey, good afternoon. How are you guys today? I am jumping on today to talk all about who you want to show up in as your business. And I was having an amazing conversation with some people in my mastermind, and I want to talk about some of the ways that everybody was feeling. And I'm wondering if you're trying to grow and scale your business, if these are some of the things that you're feeling and thinking too. And I want to make sure that we chat about those things that 7-figure, 8-figure entrepreneurs who are actually enjoying their businesses, how they scale their businesses, because I think it looks a little different than maybe you think. And so if you're in business and you're trying to grow maybe from 5 to 6, or you're in 6 figures and you're trying to grow it, and you're probably trying to grow it not because you just want a yacht on the beach, but you want to have a big impact and a big purpose, then the drive to grow your business really pushes you. And so let's talk about that today, and talk about maybe a few tweaks you can make to start defining the things that are going to actually make it work for you. And I want to share a little bit about my story, because I've been there, and it's honestly why I do what I do with my clients and why I teach what I teach, because I have been in that place of hustling to the point where I was in adrenal fatigue and all kinds of challenges. So if we don't know each other, my name is Dr. Shannon Ervin. I'm a high achievement mentor, and I help entrepreneurs, people like you, grow and scale businesses that they love while making an impact in this world. So let's talk about, first of all, I want to read this list because it was so powerful to me to hear these things again, all of these ways that I have felt and I've got to guard against feeling in my business. So tell me if this is you. Like, you feel like you're pulled in so many directions. You feel like you're stretched thin. You wish you had more hours in the day. You wish you could just hire somebody on the spot who could just take care of all the things, right? Just take care of all the things for you. You wish that you would that things would just work on their own instead of needing you so much. And you wish you knew what exactly to focus on. Or where do you even start to scale? Like, I'm so burnt out now. Like, how do I even think about scaling right now? Or how do I grow my business? How do I scale it without blowing up, breaking down, or burning out? That's so powerful. I was at that burning out place a while ago where I was trying to do the hustle, trying to do the, hard work to get to success. Now, of course, you want to work hard to get to success, but there's a point where where we early on define a lot of things for our business, and then we don't keep leveling to the place we need to level to in order to redefine what business looks like. Here are some of the other things that we were talking about: feeling so extended in our business and our personal lives, right? Trying to balance that and making sure all the areas of your life is getting the attention you deserve. And honestly, there are parts that aren't getting the attention they deserve. And you don't want to work more. You just want like a step-by-step scaling plan. Like, give me some steps that I don't have to work harder. I could actually work less and actually make my business grow. And I know, looking on some people, maybe in the online space or in your particular niche, that you see them like at their kids' games and they don't seem so stressed out, and they don't always seem like they're at the office. In fact, you're wondering how the heck they have a successful business. Well, that was me 10 years ago. And I had a successful business through hustle and hard work to a point, but I got to the point where I just couldn't do it anymore. And I was burnt out. I was like, there was no more, like, you couldn't pull any more out of me. I was giving so much to my business that my relationships were suffering. My time with my kids, I was always tired and stressed, and, just feeling like you want to grow your business. You have a big passion for it. You want to help so many more people, but you feel like I don't have any more time to give. And you just feel like, how can I scale this any more than I already have, right? So if that's you, I would love for you to jump in the comments and say, that's me. Raise your hand. Like, yes, I feel that way, Shannon. It's driving me nuts. Like, I really want my business to explode because I have a big mission, right? Do you ever feel that way? Like, I have this big mission and vision and I want to see it come to pass, but man, I cannot possibly work any more than I'm working right now. And so I want to dive into a few of the thought processes or thinking processes that I want to see you get to, that I was able to, through blood, sweat, and tears, from that very burned out place, started learning how to do, and honestly started interviewing people who are doing it and being mentored by them, and then ultimately started stepping into the way they think and act and operate and scale. It's vastly different than the working hard to get the success. And that's the thing, like working hard to get to grow in the business in the beginning actually works. And it's deceptive in a way because it works. Like, right, you can grow a decent business by hustling, but there's a point that it gets to, a sticking point that is really tough to get past, because you have to shift the way you're thinking in order to do it. And so did I. Like, I had to pull myself out of that thought process that if I worked harder, I would be successful. And I'm not going to make it as light as working smarter, but it's thinking differently, right? The thinking that gets you to a certain level of success, there is a wall, and you might be there now, or you might like feel like all the things that I said at the top of the show about just feeling like you're pulled in so many directions, stretched so thin. Like, how could I even scale when there's not even another ounce of me to give out in the world, right? So that is what I want us to talk about today. So there were 3 things that I shifted, and then now I teach my clients to shift in, that really can get you thinking about or thinking like or stepping in the shoes of the way somebody who has set themselves up to have a business that they love thinks like. So it's a matter of being a different thinker. It's not that you don't have it in you. You have all that you need within you. You just need to learn the framework that can help you think differently. And I'm going to be having an actual master class May 23rd and 24th to seriously like go in depth on the 5 pillars of this framework that really breaks down how to remove the blocks that are keeping you from the financial results that you want, how to add in that 7-figure thinking that we're going to take a little bit about today, how to have a business operations system where you can really break it down to the point where you can just hand it off to a team and they can actually make your business scale and have you work half the time. So give me a thumbs up if that sounds like amen, hallelujah. That's what I want. I want to scale my business, but I want to start enjoying my business. Like, I want to actually work less and be able to still grow my business. And we have this faulty way of thinking of, if I don't work as hard as I'm working now, I can never scale my business and grow it. Now, there are some things you do need to do. There are some consistencies and some disciplines and those things that need to be there. But the magic is, doesn't need to be you that's doing it. But it does need to be your vision that drives it. And that's the difference. So the first key that I started to shift once I started hanging around with people that actually enjoyed their businesses and were making 7- and 8-figure businesses, 10 years ago when I started mentoring with them and started to see the way they thought differently. Guys, that's what got me going into like actually getting my PhD, because I'm watching the way these people think, and it was so vastly different than the way I was thinking. Like, I was the one that said I would sleep when I'm dead. Okay. Anybody else say that? Like, I don't need to sleep. I just need to hustle. I just need to grind. I just need to get that done. And it works to a point. So it actually becomes a little bit addictive and becomes the roadblock that gets in your way. But that's not how my mentors were thinking. And then, of course, what I learned finishing up through my PhD and how all the neural pathways work and how our reticular activating system work and all that works, you got to step into a different way of thinking. So the first part of that is really knowing what you want your success to look like. It seems so small, but it is so huge, because I've seen so many people build their businesses, get the success, have the successful launch, have all that happen, right? And they celebrate it for like 10 minutes, and then they're like, what's next? Which that's kind of the mind of an entrepreneur. I know I have that too, but they actually felt that way because they hadn't sat and designed really set out, what does it look like? Because it looks different for each person, right? What looks good for me, and I'll just define that for you so you can hear it from my language, is that like success to me is my 7-figure, close to 8-figure business, right? But at the same time, I want to spend every time I have an opportunity to at my kids' schools, I want to be there. I want to spend dinners with my family. And I want to be able to really, really impact my tribe. Those are the things that drive me. So if I am really trying to impact my tribe and I am never at my kids' events, I'm never spending dinners with my family, I'm not taking vacations, I'm not successful. I don't care how big my business grows. I am not going to feel successful. There's not alignment. And when there's not alignment, you won't grow. Just straight up, if there's not alignment with your values and what success means to you, then you won't grow. And that's what was happening to me as I was in this place of like, oh my gosh, I'm doing all the same things, but it's not working. And that's because I had slowed down enough to say, okay, at the end of the day, when my 8-figure business is here, what do I want to be doing? Who do I want to be with? What do I want to be feeling? Like, do I want to be like laughing and full of joy and spending time on the beach with my kids? How many vacations a year do I want to take? Who do I want to serve? Like, those of you who've been following around, my passion project, Mosaic Vision, how do I want to impact those orphans in Uganda through Mosaic Vision? Defining that first step of definition of how you want to be successful is key. It's like, all of us entrepreneurs are in a car and we have no GPS system and we're wondering why we're running into roadblocks. Well, we're running into roadblocks because we have no clear vision. And that clear vision of what success ultimately looks like to you. For one of my clients, the success for that person means a certain house, a certain car, a certain yacht slip, and that is what it means to them. And that's okay. It's all our own definition. My definition and your definition can be absolutely different, but it has to be defined. And it was the one mistake I was making 10 years ago. I was super driven, super passionate, and super hustling. And I was doing well, but I couldn't grow it any further. And that was the shift for me, was being able to see that people who are really running a 7- and 8-figure business that really enjoy it, really have that time to themselves, they're really the CEO. They're making the decisions on where they're spending their time and how they're spending their time. They're not just defining it once a year. They're not just defining it once a quarter. They're defining it constantly. They're constantly staying super focused. That's a high value, what kind of success they want to have. And they filter decision-making through that. It's so different than approaching it through the hustle lens. The hustle lens tells you, do more, take more on, do more, and that'll get you to success. And the reality is that leads you to burnout. That doesn't lead you to success. It leads you to a fairly livable business with burnout versus a breakthrough business with huge impact and that you love it and it's definition by you, so that you have that filter to be able to look at things through, make decisions through, get clarity through. So knowing where you're going and what success looks like for you, have you ever thought about that? Tell me in the comments if that's something you've ever even slowed down enough to say, at the end of the day, when I do get my 7-figure business and I am making a huge impact, what do I want to be doing? Where do I want to be spending my time? Who do I want to be with? Am I taking vacations? Am I helping people in Africa? Am I spending time with my kids? What are you doing? Where are you going? Who are you being? Who's the person you want to be? Because if that is not defined, you're going to be at a roadblock. You're not going to get there. That one little shift is just this beautiful filter of every new opportunity, every new thought process that comes in. You filter it through that. You look at it through that lens and you say, okay, does this fit my definition of success? And if it does, then you consider it. But it's an amazing first line of defense from things that just do not create success for you. And it really does make a huge difference. So let me know in the comments, have you felt that way that I'm talking about really just really wanting to grow your business, really wanting to get to 7 or 6 or 8 figures wherever you are, but feeling like your hustle just isn't working anymore and you're feeling kind of burnt out. And if that's you, give me a thumbs up or an emoji or, oh, that's me in the comments. And have you ever stopped to think about what kind of success you wanted? I would love to see what you're thinking on that. So making that definition is super, super vital. And it was a huge pivot point for me because I was spending time away from my family. I was, hi Darren, how are you? You want more time with your kids, the ability to take vacation, a home without an amount of land that we would like to participate in outdoor activities. And see, that's a beautiful definition. That's a beautiful definition because, hey Shannon, good to see you. Because that allows you to have a filter with everything that you start to take in. Any project, any new client, anything that you're doing becomes part of it. Like more time with my kids. Okay. So is that defined for you? Like, what does that mean? Like, keep asking yourself more questions. What does more time mean for you? Does it mean being done at 1 o'clock so you can be with your kids for the rest of the afternoon? Does it mean working till 5 but being there? It's different for every single person. So have you defined that piece of the puzzle? Because that right there it's like putting a guard at your gate, and it takes away the things that will keep you busy and then not get you to success. I mean, you know, if you've been an entrepreneur for a while, you know there is a difference between activity and accomplishment. The to-do list, and I'm going to talk about this Friday, the to-do list, driving your day by the to-do list is the death of your business. It's truly the death of your business. And we'll talk about a methodology that works for me, my clients, and honestly, all my mentors as well that they use. We'll talk about that Friday. So the first part of this beginning of thinking like a 7-figure entrepreneur that really loves what they do and loves the life that they're living is having that knowledge of what success means to you. And then number 2, the second thing is, if you're at that mid 6-figure level, you're hiring at least virtual assistants. You have somewhat of a team around you. You have help because there's like 3 levels, right? You're just getting started. You're still like that hamster in the hamster wheel feeling. You're still looking towards strategies like Facebook ads and Instagram ads and, different things like that to be the methodology to get you to success. And you're feeling a little overwhelmed. And then you get to that mid-level and you're starting to grow. You probably have a VA. You haven't quite figured out how to manage your team yet. You're still kind of, you know that growth is possible, but you're still feeling like there's not enough time in the day. And you're focused more on growth and trying to figure out how you balance all the moving parts, right? That's when you've started to have some success. You're probably in that 5-figure range, or to the early 6s. And then you start something that shifts with people that like I teach my clients like I am. And then like, I definitely wasn't before. So I'm telling you guys, there's a freedom in this. If you can trust this process and this framework, there's a freedom in it that is beyond your wildest dreams. When I tell people I work half as much as I did when I started my business and have, 17,000 times the impact, it takes a stretch. It takes thinking outside of the box to apply this framework. But once you get there, you're not thinking about strategy. You're not thinking about those kind of things. You're not even thinking about that. You're thinking about identity. You're thinking about who do I want to be and what person do I need to be to be able to affect the most amount of people. You're living from a place of freedom and abundance, and you're scaling your business by leaps and bounds. You're building a team that is practically like mini yous. Like you've done such an amazing job at creating and crafting a team with purpose that you're able to turn over all the moving parts of your business and truly be that visionary that's pushing it forward to the next level and the next level and the next level, because you're free from the minutia of the everyday. So that step 1 is knowing that. Step 2 is the team that you start to surround yourself with, being equally as purposeful about the definition of that team. What kind of team do you want around you? Who do you want to hire? What does it look like for you to have a successful team? because it's different for all of us. And we don't think about this when we go into running our own businesses, but you might not ever want to have a team that's in your physical proximity in an office. You might want to do everything virtually, but how does that look? Do you have one person managing everybody else? Do you have you managing all of those? And the big shift has to be you really start thinking about a team in terms of how to remove yourself. How do I remove myself from the daily operation of the business so that I can push the business forward with vision? That is the key difference maker right there. So knowing what success looks like for you, knowing what team success looks like for you. And the last one is knowing who you want to be. So, and then stepping into that now. So there is an identity of a person who hustles and all of the thinking that goes along with that. And then there's also an identity with the person who's running a 7 and 8 figure business that they don't have to be in every day. Can you agree with that? Like there's a difference between the identities for those two different people. One person believes their worldview is I have to hustle and work as much as humanly possible to be successful. The other thought process and belief is I need to step in fully to who I want to be so that I can empower others in my business to run the business so that I can ensure that my impact is going to take place. It's a shift. So who do you want to be? Have you stopped and thought about that? Do you want to be the person that hustles until your deathbed? Some people do. Some people get the endorphins from that, and that really gives them a sense of purpose and a sense of drive. They will hit up against a wall in that. Developing that team around you scares a lot of people, but if done right with this scaling framework, standard operating procedures for building and offloading your daily operations to a team, that's the place that we want to move into. So just take a moment and imagine yourself as that person. Like this isn't woo woo. This is like, if you want to believe that it's going to happen, you have to actually believe that it can happen, right? So, because you're never going to go where your beliefs aren't. So you can't get to a 7-figure business without the belief that you can, first of all. And then second of all, you can't get there without the ability to see what that looks like. So in your mind, you're there and you've hit whatever that goal is. You have 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever it is, whatever that means for you, right? It's different. For me, the money is just a means to an end of impact for me. So I can help more people that way. That's the thing for me. So when you close your eyes and you think about what is it like, what are you picturing? Are you still picturing yourself running, doing every single part of your business? Because that isn't going to be, you're not going to be able to. There's going to be too many moving parts. You will explode. So it's part of that. This process is part of letting go of the death grip you have on perfection and on controlling everything, and allowing other amazing, talented people come in and start taking pieces over, and know they won't do it as well as you at first. And then they'll do it as well as you. And then they'll do it so much better than you. You will think like, how on God's earth did I ever do it any other way? And I went through that. I mean, there was a point where I had a death grip on my business and I did every moving part. And it honestly just it gave me adrenal fatigue. I was sick and it just not very pleasant to be around. But, the shift can happen in a moment, but you got to walk it out every day. And that's part of why I want to do this live training that's coming up on the 23rd and 24th, is to show you how you can think differently, think outside of the box. One of the things I was talking to my Facebook ads guru, Monica, about today is the fact, and I'm going to teach this in my webinar, there's an old IQ test, right? And I don't know if you remember this, but there's an old IQ test that had 5 dots on the paper. And the test was, you take your pencil, you put your pencil on one dot, and you have to draw 7 lines without lifting the pencil up. And every dot needs to be covered. And what a lot of people do is they try to connect the dots within the framework that they've been given, those 5-dot framework, And the only way to solve that IQ is to actually take the lines way outside of the framework, the box. And the box right now for growing your business is hustle and work like as much as you can and sacrifice whatever you need to get there. And that framework is not going to get you where you want to go. So you've got to think outside of the box, and a scaling framework that gives you not just the process, standard operating procedures, the how-to step by step, that's there, but how do you step into thinking, and then ultimately your identity shifts into that person that really loves their business, is working half the time and is scaling it to beyond their wildest dreams because they've empowered a team and they have systems and processes and automation there in order to make it happen. So it's a little shift in thought. I just wanted to share it with you today. You can step into that thinking, and you can do it. You can do it in an instant, but you've got to repeat it every single day. And as you get to the next level, you have to keep stretching yourself and stretching yourself. But the framework, the scaling framework that I'm going to teach on my masterclass on the 23rd and 24th are the main steps to get you from where you are now in your business to that 6 or 7 figures and beyond, and be able to repeat it and hand off the day-to-day operation to a well-oiled machine of a team that will make your dreams and vision become a reality while you start dreaming and having bigger vision for your company and your business. So if that sounds good to you, you can go, I'll drop the link in here, but that masterclass is coming up. You can go to drshannonervin.com. That's drshannonirvin.com/7-figure CEO and get on the wait list for that. It's going to be a great training. I'm not going to hold anything back. I'm going to show you all the things that I use with my 7 and 8 figure clients and that I use personally and learn through trial and error and mentoring with amazing people that have a life and business that I love. And they have their life and business that they love. And I was able to really kind of hack that thinking and the way they act and the way they scale. And that's what I'm going to bring to you on this live masterclass. So I'd love to have you there. But I want you to just think about this. I want you to take away from this time together, just start to think about who is it that you want to be in your business. What, if you're there and you're successful, what does it look like? Who are you being? Who are you with? What are you doing? And what do you have? And define that for yourself. Write it down and then keep asking yourself why you want that. So I want the yacht. Why do you want that? Well, I want the freedom that comes with going out on the water whenever I want to. What are you doing when you're out on the water? Are you speeding around, or are you with your family? Oh no, I'm with my family. I'm taking my kids out on the boat and it's this bonding time. So you see the difference? If I just stick with I want the yacht, that is so not what you want. And that whole dialogue could happen, and it could truly be, I just want the yacht because I like to go really, really fast. And you enjoy this, but still, even in that, it's the speed, the adrenaline, the feeling of being alive. Do you see what I'm saying? It's something deeper. So define that so that when you're driving your business, you can really know what your target is, because knowing that it's everything. So I love being with you today. If you're hitting on the replay, please say #replay. I would love to hear your comments on what you are trying to grow in your business. And I'll see you Friday when we're going to talk all about how the to-do list is actually killing your business and what you can do instead to actually get things done in a way that makes your business explode. See you then. Bye.